Nike takes 18 months to design and deliver a new product. Zara takes 15 days. Nike launches around 300 new products a year. Zara launches between 12,000 and 20,000. Nike spends roughly 10% of its revenue on advertising. Zara spends 0.3%. And Zara makes more money per square meter of retail space than any other fashion brand on earth. The man who built this system left school at the age of 14. He never gave a press interview for the first 30 years of his company's existence. He never explained how the system worked. He just built it, quietly, in a small city in northwest Spain, until it was worth 147 billion euros. His name is Amancio Ortega. And the company he built from a bathrobe workshop in his living room is called Inditex. You know it as Zara. This is how he did it. Amancio Ortega was born in 1936 in a small village in León, northern Spain. His father was a railway worker. The family moved constantly, following the train lines. By the time Amancio was a teenager, they had settled in a Coruña, a port city in Galicia, on the far northwestern tip of Spain. At 14, Ortega left school. Not because he wanted to. Because the family needed money. He got a job as a delivery boy for Gala, a local shirt maker. Then as a shop assistant in the same store. He watched how clothes were made, how they were priced, how they were sold. He watched wealthy customers buy the same designs that he knew could be made for a fraction of the cost if you cut the middlemen out. In 1963, at 27 years old, Ortega founded his first company, Confecciones Goa. A small workshop in his living room in a Coruña, making quilted bathrobes. He hired local seamstresses. He controlled the production himself. He sold directly to retailers. No advertising. No sales agents. No distributors. Just the product, made as cheaply and as quickly as possible, sold as directly as possible. The lesson he had learned as a delivery boy, that the distance between making something and selling it was where all the money was lost, became the founding principle of everything he would ever build. In 1975, Ortega and his then-wife Rosalia Mera opened their first clothing store. They almost called it Zorba, after the film Zorba the Greek. There was already a bar called Zorba nearby. So they rearranged the letters. Zara. Here's how the traditional fashion industry worked in 1975. A brand would design its collection 6 to 9 months before the season. The designs would go to factories, usually in Asia, for production. The finished clothes would be shipped by sea. They would arrive at distribution centers. From there, to stores. The whole cycle, 6 to 9 months. Sometimes longer. The problem with this system is obvious the moment you think about it. Fashion is about what people want to wear right now. And, right now, changes faster than any 6-month production cycle can respond to. So brands would try to predict what customers would want 6 months in the future. They would get it wrong. They would discount. The discounts would destroy their margins. They would try harder to predict next season. Ortega looked at this system and decided to build the opposite of it. Instead of predicting what customers would want, Zara would watch what customers were actually buying. And respond in real time. Every Zara store manager in the world sends a daily report to headquarters in Artixo, outside a Coruña. What sold? What didn't? What customers asked for that wasn't available? What colors they ignored? What fits they tried on and put back? That information goes to the design team. The design team creates new garments based on what is actually selling right now, not what a trend forecaster predicted 6 months ago. The new designs go to factories. Mostly in Spain, Portugal, Morocco, and Turkey, close to the headquarters, not on the other side of the world. The proximity means faster turnaround and easier quality control. New garments are shipped to every Zara store in the world twice a week. From design decision to store shelf, 15 days. And if something doesn't sell in a week, it gets pulled. No second chances. No extended sales. The result, Zara almost never discounts. While competitors are selling 40% of their inventory at reduced prices, Zara sells the vast majority of its products at full price. That's where the margin comes from. At the center of everything is a building in Artixo that Zara employees call the Cube. It's a 500,000 square meter logistics facility, roughly the size of 70 football pitches, that processes and ships every single product that goes into every single Zara store on Earth. Twice a week, the Cube sends packages to 5,600 stores in 214 markets. The system is almost entirely automated. Garments arrive from nearby factories, are tagged with RFID chips, sorted by destination by robotic systems, and loaded onto trucks or planes. Every store in Europe receives its shipment within 24 to 36 hours of it leaving Artixo. Every store outside Europe receives it within 48 hours. Think about what that means. A Zara store in Tokyo, Shanghai, New York, or Sao Paulo receives 2 new shipments every week, each one based on what that specific store sold in the last 3 to 4 days. The Cube is now being expanded. Inditex committed €900 million in additional logistics investment across 2024 and 2025 alone, building a second hub in Zaragoza, with robotic silos handling storage and sorting autonomously. Because Zara knows that in the next decade, the speed advantage it built in the 1970s is the only thing that will keep it ahead of what's coming from China. We'll get to that. But first, the other decision Ortega made that nobody in fashion was willing to make. He decided never to advertise. In 2024, Nike spent approximately $4.1 billion on marketing and advertising. Zara spent roughly €114 million, about 0.3% of revenue. And Zara's operating margin was higher. How? The answer is the store. Ortega made a decision early on that the store itself was the advertising. If you put a Zara store in the most expensive retail location in every major city in the world, on the corner of Oxford Street, on Fifth Avenue, on the Champs-Élysées, the store is the campaign. Customers walk past it. They see the window display, which changes every 2 weeks. They walk in, because it's there, because it's visually compelling, because they know that what they see today will be gone next week. That's the other genius of the 15-day system. Scarcity. Zara doesn't make enormous quantities of any single garment. It makes small runs. If a dress sells out, it doesn't come back. There's something new in its place. This creates urgency that no advertising campaign can buy. Customers know that if they like something at Zara, they need to buy it now. Because it won't be there next week. The average Zara customer visits the store 17 times a year. For comparable fashion retailers, the average is 3 to 4 times. Those 13 extra visits per customer per year, multiplied across hundreds of millions of customers worldwide, are worth more than any advertising spend. And then there's the man himself. Amancio Ortega gave his first press interview in 2000, 25 years after opening the first Zara store. Until then, there were no photographs of him available to the media. No profiles. No quotes. No social media presence. He built one of the most recognizable brands on earth and remained, personally, invisible. Sound familiar? In 2022, Shein surpassed Amazon as the most downloaded shopping app in the United States. Shein launches approximately 10,000 new products every single day. Not per year. Per day. Zara launches 12,000 to 20,000 per year. Shein produces its garments in China, using an on-demand manufacturing model. It only produces a garment after it has sold a minimum number of units online. No inventory risk. No unsold stock. No markdowns. And its prices make Zara look expensive. This is the first time in Zara's history that a competitor has been genuinely faster at getting a product from design to customer. Not as fast. Faster. The question the fashion industry has been asking since 2022 is, can Zara survive Shein?